Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about Onshape, computer-aided design, or CAD. Onshape is one of the many softwares for CAD, computer-aided design. Today I thought I'd show everyone Onshape. So basically Onshape, as I mentioned, is a software. So we're going to be talking about the basics of Onshape, and I'm just going to be showing everyone how to work with Onshape. So let's start. Let's start with just the basics, I guess. So your default document, you get top, front, right, and you can see you click on them, it just highlights it. We have our front view, we have our right view. So it just highlighted all of those. I can just take the highlights off for now. So we're just gonna start off with the top, front, and right views. You can hide these. Like let's say you want to work with the top. So I want to focus on the top view. And as you can see, we're now a little bit messed up here. And here's where I bring in this. So this cube right here in Onshape, it's pretty helpful. It brings up the top, which I'm going to talk about dimensioning and just sketching. But this moves it around. So we're at our default. If you want to get to a default position, we can use this cube to reach our default position that we were in. And if you always make a mistake, you can just undo. And we can just undo to our normal default position. Now we have our camera and render options. So here you'll have lots of options here. Now here's where it comes in. If you have some background on CAD, you'll know you have Isometric, which is the default that Onshape spawns a document in with. You have Dimetric, which is like similar to Isometric, but it's a little. Then you have Trimetric, which kind of does that. We're going to start with Isometric because I think that's like the one that most people start off with. So starting with Isometric. We're just going to go over the basics for now, top, front, right. Now, with this cube, you can use this to tilt. I highly recommend using a mouse because if you're going to use the trackpad, I doubt you're going to it's not going to work out good. So you can move around. Let's say like we want to sketch here, and I'm going to get to sketching in a minute, but right now, if we want to just sketch something, we like focus on this. And we can always focus on like the side views. We can go left, back. This cube is one of the most helpful things. You can always do this to move it vertically and then horizontally. And then if you're always stuck, go back to Isometric, hit that, and you're good. So now basically, I think it's time that we go over sort of like how to make something. And I'm going to start with a basic thing like a cylinder. Looking at what we have here, we have lots of views. Go with Isometric. Now to make a cylinder, it's not that hard, but there are some steps. And we're going to go over it. It's a basic cylinder. So first thing I want to go over before we get into this actual cylinder is sketching. When you want to sketch, what I highly recommend doing is you go over to this cube section, you hit top. This basically this will make it so you can like get into I'll get into dimensioning in a second, but there's like you can sketch here and etc. So we're gonna so if you want to start a sketch, you go here, Shift S on your computer, depending on your computer. You just hit the sketch. Now you have to select a sketch plane. Basically what this means is top, front, or right. Since we have top up, just click top, and we have sketch 1. So starting with sketch 1, we have lots of options here. We have line, which is just a basic line, runs down. I can go over the basics. That's just a basic line. As you can see, we form two triangles there. Using the line, of course, you can undo that and show a different one. We have the corner rectangle, which do here. You want to make a corner rectangle, do that. We're not getting into dimension yet, but I'm just showing you all the features. Go back. Yeah, if you'd hit undo, yeah, we'd have to read the sketch. So here we have corner rectangle. We also have center point rectangle. So we want to do this. Bam, center point rectangle. But we don't want that for now. I'm just gonna hit undo. We have center point circle, which is center. It goes out from the center like this. We want a circle. We go over here. You can do as many as you want. So that's pretty cool. And click on the drop down arrow. You have 3-point circle. We want 0.1, 0.2. Bam. That's how you make the 3-point. That's for like larger circles especially. And the drop down ellipse, basic. It's like an oval. Obviously we can dimension this in the future, but the good thing about Onshape is you don't need to like get your exact, like we can make this any size but choose its exact dimensions in the future, which I actually like. And we have arc, 3-point arc, lots of different things for the arc. I'm just going to show one. Select. I think that's broken. Obviously you can make shapes like that. And we obviously have polygons, so we can make something like that, which I actually like about this. This spline. This is actually very useful in one of my next projects that I will do with Onshape. This spline can make like sort of like you can like get really, it makes curvy lines. So if you want to make designs in the future like this, the spline helps. Now note with the spline, if you just click, it'll just keep going and going until you stop clicking. So to get rid of the spline, press escape. Of course, I wasn't aiming to make a spline, but that's of course what you need. Point, the basic point, don't need that. Text, and yeah, that's basically it. And we have tools. So the trim is basically for removing stuff. So let's say we have a line that goes down here. Let's say we have these lines, right? We want to trim it. Click the trim tool. It will trim each piece at a time. This is actually very convenient. There we go, trim. And you can also extend and split, which I like. Mirror, dimensioning. Dimensioning is something I'm gonna show you. So let's create a cylinder, and I'm gonna show y'all an example of where dimensioning would be needed. So we're gonna go to center point circle. I mentioned this before, center point circle. You want to click right on it. You click on it, or put on the center point. Once this orange label comes up, click on it. As you can see, we can create I can just, make sure you stay at the top view, otherwise it might get difficult. But yeah, you can basically make this circle as large as you want. And just don't make it like absurd, like too large, or it might error out. But this is basically the basics. And once you got a size, note that you don't need to pick your. Let's say I want 55 millimeters. Don't find that out by going so slow. You can just do any size. For now, I'm just gonna make an even size circle. Here's where dimensioning comes into play. We come here, we click the dimension tool, which can also be accessed by D on your keyboard. We click this tool. We come here. This doesn't matter. You don't need to do this. Oh, I need to make it perfect. No. You can click anywhere, dimension this, boom. We can select anything we want. So basically I'll just make 55 millimeters. This should be, oh no, that needs to be valid. Bam. As you can see, the dimensioning tool just got that to our size, 55 millimeters. Now, moving on to our other tools. You can always go back to an isometric view and see how it looks. Now that we're done with this, hit the green check mark. The sketch is done. It comes up here. Now we can always rename our sketches. So for the sake of organization, I'm going to name it circle. Once you've done that, of course. So now I guess we can move on to extrusions, etc. I guess I can go over all of this, but we're going to start with extrusions because that's what we're going to be using. So on your keyboard, depending on your computer, you can use Shift E to get to this. If you can, just click on extrude up here. It's the first, if you're not in a sketch, it's the first thing you're going to see. Hit extrude, and extrude 1 pops up. So now you have to select a face or a sketch region to extrude. Right now we have a sketch here, which is our circle. And what the extrusion does is it basically, it'll like move this up or down. So an example, like this. You want to make a cylinder, it's that easy. It'll make it solid, of course. Now let's say you want to make like a hole. And let's say you want to make a hole. So if you want to make a hole, and I know you don't do this because that will just error out, it'll just go up. But you can go to remove and it will go down instead of up. But of course now we're just going to go to add because we want to make it go up. Yeah. So obviously I don't want to make this too big. I think this is good enough. So I'm going to hit good. Now extrude 1. I can rename this to our cylinder. And I can always put extrusion 1 for the sake of organization, of course. We can hide these views to take a good look at this. So you can go around, I guess. We can check out all these different sides. We can check isometric. Basically what the top front, this hiding, is actually a very good feature, especially if you want, like this is on not organized, but with this, of course, it's way more organized than it should be. Now we have our cylinder. We're going to talk about getting into something more difficult. So in this cylinder, we're going to keep the cylinder for educational purposes, and we're going to take the revolve. We're going to check out all of these tools just to give an insight on how this works. So we're going to create, obviously you know how extrude works, revolve the axis, This is obviously just revolves the face and the sketch regions. Sweep. So you want to do this. It'll just sweep the path. We don't want that for now. I'm going to go to isometric so you can see it better. Loft. And then you can obviously do the constraints here. That's obviously up to you. Thicken. It's used to thicken. So if you want to thicken something, do here. You want to thicken it. Boom. Thickened our cylinder. This tool works fine. Fillet. With the fillet, I'm actually going to create a new shape. So we're going to start from scratch. Or actually, yeah. So what I like about Onshape is what you can do, what I'm actually going to do, is you can refer. Yeah, I think the sketch, it honestly, sometimes the sketch might regenerate. It doesn't regenerate properly, so we're just going to show the fillet like this. So, fillet, it makes it look, it kind of looks better. Obviously a fillet can be used here. You can choose the radius. I guess this makes it look like a can. So I guess this gives it like a cup feel. Actually, if you want to make it look like a mug, I guess it would work pretty good. Chamfer, giraffe, rib. Chamfer. That's the face thicken. We don't want to mess with these yet. But what I want to talk about is shell. And shell does that. It hollows the thing you select. So basically selected this. This is starting to look like a cup. Right, so we can obviously fill our shell. So I'm gonna actually go from it from the top to give a good feel of, or actually, I think this might actually help. So when the shell thickness is at full, it's like completely it's completely all the way to the bottom. When it's at all the way down, it's filled. Basically, we're gonna leave it at that for now. I might just add a little bit at the bottom for realism. Yep, that. Now what we could have done is made this larger and made that. It would have looked like a cup, I guess. But yeah, that's basically it. Also another thing, hole. This is pretty important. Hole. Let's just fill this in. So we're gonna go to shell 1. We're gonna delete it. You can always delete shells. Fill it in. And I want to show the hole function. So you click on the hole. Standard, custom. You can. I'm just gonna go with custom. Diameter. Let's just pick inches, and you just type in the abbreviation. It shows up. I'm just gonna go in. So yeah, so basically obviously the hole, we'll just create a hole inside, but that was just to show the function of the hole. Linear pattern, mirror, we have Boolean, split, transform. Transform, actually, it will transform your figure. It will move it around. You want to move it here? There we go. Transform one. It's now here. So now, if we do this, our figure is all the way over here. So that's something that you should look around for. Obviously, I will be posting more of these videos kind of showing off, or not showing off, but like showing how to make some objects, I guess. That's a pretty vital part of this. So yeah, that's basically the basics of Onshape, an introduction to Onshape. Yeah, that's the introduction. That's as basic as it gets in Onshape. It definitely gets harder. You know, you can change colors. It gets insane. But these are just the main basics if you're just new to Onshape. So I will be posting more videos for those who already understand the basics of Onshape, or if my video helped anyone understand Onshape. So hopefully this video helped understanding Onshape, and I hope to post more Onshape videos in the future. So yeah, that is the basics of Onshape, computer-aided design.